couple weeks ago I did a video just saying that I was kind of doing a little experiment of having the horses overgraze a field on purpose, just to see what would happen. And this is the field that they overgrazed. It has completely come back. And actually, if you look at this field, it might be hard to see in a video, but it's quite lush, it's nice and green, it's nice soft grasses. And then on the other side where I did not overgraze, there's a lot more weeds, a little bit more coarse grass. Now, this is not a usual year. We have had an insane amount of rain, and so even with terrible efforts, I would have had great grass this year. But it does show kind of some interesting things. There's something called mob grazing, where you kind of you do it quickly. So it's supposed to be done in like 2 or 3 days, or even 1 day, where you run the sheep or livestock over top of the grass until it's pretty much trampled to the ground and there's not much left, and then you move them a day or two later and you put them in very, very small areas. I would love to do that because obviously the results are fabulous. Just looking at this. Time is an issue, and that's a resource just like anything else. I mean, we talk about trying to decrease fertilizer, time, to decrease the or increase the amount of yield that we're getting with as little inputs as possible. But one of those inputs is time, and to move them every 3 days takes my time, and so I consider that a resource too. And so this is maybe not as good as I would like it to be, in terms of I would love to do mob grazing and move them every day or every other day. I can't do it. I just don't have the time to do it. And so if you're thinking about doing rotational grazing and you're thinking, well, I just don't have time to do it, do what you can. Even if it's dividing one field in half and rotating it that way, do what you can and forgive yourself for what you can't do. Because they're going to get results, even if they're not optimum results. And so, this is a perfect example of that. Another issue that I'm running across, because we've had so much rain and we don't have the typical July drought that we've been usually get in most years, is that I'm having to run the line a little bit higher than normal. So normally I would run it on that bottom line about 12 inches high. I'm having to run it about 2 feet high, because otherwise what's happening is that and I'll show you, actually let me kind of get off and show you this. It's hard to show with all this grass. But if you look at this right now, that's just where I have it on that, it's about 2 feet high. If I put it down to where I normally do, let's see, all right, I can get in there. It's going to be touching the grass, and then it's going to short out. So I'm running a little bit higher, and I'm counting on the fact that there's so much grass that the sheep aren't going to get out. Again, time is a resource, right? I could run a second line and do 2 lines. Do the bottom one as non-electrified and the top one as electrified, where it's not going to be shorted out. But time is a resource. And so for me, running a single line takes less time. And so, and for the most part, it works. I mean, it's very rarely that they get out. And, they have perimeter fencing around here. You see there's a nice perimeter fencing. So they're not really getting out. They're just moving into an area that I prefer them not to be in. And then I put them back in and I re-electrify. And usually when they do get out, it's a sign that I probably didn't rotate in time. It's time to rotate a little earlier than I had. So anyways, just time is a resource too. And, just give yourself some grace on this pasture rotation stuff. It's not a perfect science, and you do the best you can, and you get the best results that you can, even if it's not the optimum method of doing it. So, hope you all have a good day. Thanks.